oftentimes it happens voluntarily, and people don't know what to do with this information, they don't know how to communicate with it or ask follow-up questions, where with the method that I'm using, you ask questions until you're satisfied or until they tell you no more.
A question came in from Helen in London. Helen asks, can people be accessing the Akashic Records without realizing there are? Oh, this reminds me of a question I wanted to ask. She said, could it just feel like intuition or insight?
Oh, I totally believe that. I mean, there are different methods on how to connect to the Akashic Records, not just the way I do it. Edgar Cayce, for example, he did it in his sleep, and someone
like a trance,
would write. We don't do it in a trance. We are fully conscious when we do it. People go in a fast or meditate really long, sometimes during sleep, that they get information from the Akashic Records. I think the difference is, Helen, that oftentimes it happens voluntarily, and people don't know what to do with this information, they don't know how to communicate with it or ask follow-up questions, where with the method that I'm using, you ask questions until you're satisfied or until they tell you no more.
The question that Helen's question reminded me of is that, a lot of people whom I interview and a lot of people who watch this show have had or are interested in having a spiritual awakening, which isn't just an enhancement of your individual life or a diminishment of your individual problems or anything, but it's, along the lines of enlightenment or nirvana or, that kind of thing, a real significant shift in your consciousness. And it seems to me that, and also what the traditions all say is that once such an awakening has taken place, then you're kind of permanently functioning from the level at which previously you might have had to sort of tap into momentarily, a little dip here and a little peak there, but it becomes your baseline way of functioning. And so it would seem that at that point, everything you think, say, and do is kind of an expression of that level of intelligence which one accesses if one is accessing the Akashic Records. So it's not something you have to specifically make a project of doing anymore. It's just your natural way of living. And so your intuitions and your desires and your impulses, they're all kind of very much aligned with kind of divine intelligence 24/7.
It becomes a way of life.
Yeah, natural way of functioning.
Yes. But there's also these aha moments. I taught a class here in my house when I moved here 4 years ago. I wanted to get the energy going, and I had a class in my house, and I had 8 neuroscientists. I'm sorry, not neuroscientists. Neurologists, yes, from Chicago. And they came here and they took my class. And then there were a few other people, like normal people, in the class. And the reason why I'm sharing this example is because they are all really well educated and they understand more or less how the brain really works. So we did our first experiences with the Akashic Records. And all of a sudden, I never forget this. This was deep for me too. This one neurologist, he looks down and then he says to the group, I'm a little bit shocked because now that I have been able to look into that and have this connection, I have to reevaluate everything. And I think that is the best way you can really put it. Like once you really understand that this is not just the thing you do, like brushing your teeth, but that this is a life energy that communicates with you, and not just through language, but through emotions and vibration, it kind of readjusts everything else in your life.
You can find more information regarding my Akashic Record seminars on my website. See you soon.